Welcome to Warren 2009 Fantasy Football, the show.
Hello and welcome back to Week 7 Warren 2009 Fantasy Football, the show. Here at Go Sports Media, we are always and ever excited to bring you this content weekly. We enjoy doing it. Got a lot of things going on today. Josh, how are you doing, my friend?
I did okay. Last week was a big change of pace from week 5, but that's okay. Kenyan Drake decided to drive it home, the very last drive of their game. So, exclamation point, and that made me feel a little bit better, just knowing that. I had some thoughts in my head, like, what if I would have played this player? What if I? No, it wouldn't have mattered because Kenyan Drake then did that. So I felt good after that. It's okay. How are you doing, Lou? How are you, man?
We're hanging in there.
Yeah.
I've been here before.
You've been there too many times where just the high score of the week just comes and knocks you on the butt.
I think that's the third time this year.
And it's from Lyjak. Man, Lyjak, the fantasy gods are with you. They're punishing everybody for just coming at your draft there. So
yeah, we have this new saying. It's called the Lyjak effect, and he will get those random boomers that just show up, and I don't know what kind of which voodoo magic he's got going on, but he's running with it.
It's working too. I mean, I even have the blazer. I don't know what he's rolling with. It's all right. That's cool though. Congratulations to those who won this week. We've made this league even more chaotic than what we thought we could have been. We do have a 6-0. We broke the record for last year. Last year, Robbie went 5-0 and got his first loss. So, Dale, nice job, man. 6-0. Coming up next is Robbie, 4-2. We got a few 3-3s, a few 2-4s to close out the rest of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Injuries, COVID, they're still taking hits. They're hitting us where it hurts, but we're rolling with the punches. We're 1 week closer to guaranteed money for some of us.
One of us.
For one of us. All right. So let's go. Louis, you want to give us a week 6 recap, even though we kind of touched on a few games there?
Yeah, we'll just run through it real quickly. So where art thou, Julio, putting up 148, that week's top spot, taking down the newly named Lamb of God, 160. White girls showing up in a close match, edging out Kickenbuckers 114-111. Make America Gronk again, that they did, 107-90 over Upright Soon.
They are probably now upset now that they're in last place again.
Yeah. Who's Gaskin for a friend? Gaskin for a friend is 110 over the suspiciously low receiversonly.com, 62 points.
I think that was a new season low, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be.
I believe it was. I think the first week we had a 72 points, and that was from those who are upset now. But that's just how it goes. That's the way a cookie crumbles sometimes.
Sure does.
I know. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. One last little weekly recap. Newly named McDouble and a Drake. Edging out Hunt or be hunted. 122-97.
Yeah. Well played. Well, then we'll just go ahead and do a quick recap on the Pickums. Louis, we did really well. We did have 2 of the 5 games that we differed on. So we each got one of those right. And we ended up with 4 out of 5 predictions correct on the week. That's one of our best this season. So
that's about 50%.
Yeah, we did great. But right now, I'm sitting at 19 out of 30 correct this season. You are at 14 out of 30. You're still
Hey,
5
we're
games
working our
back.
way back to 500.
There you go, man. With that being said, we got a couple of guest stars again on the show. This week, we have decided to cut out the buy-sell segment in favor of one of our favorite segments. It's only done a couple of times a year, so we're bringing back Transaction Talks.
Transaction talks.
We got quite a few transactions to talk about, especially in the last 24 hours here. Oh my goodness.
How many times will Antonio Brown be added and then dropped?
That's the real question. But before that, we're going to go ahead and talk real quick. We're bringing back the outside top 20. We already know how this goes. Louis, for week 7, who do you got for your quarterback position outside top 20?
Quarterback, we're going to the secret garden. We're going with Gardner Minshew. He's going to be at the Chargers' very brand new stadium. They are third worst against the QB position. DJ Chark is back. I think he had 14 targets last week. So he's got his favorite weapon against a rookie quarterback that has shown some promise. But I think the Mustache Mania will bring it this week.
Yeah, I think he'll bring it too. I think they might lose, but I think he'll bring it this week, and I sure hope he gets DJ Chark involved. Oh my. Let's see here. He's been brought up before on this outside top 20 segment. I'm going to bring him back up again. Big Dick Nick Foles versus the Rams. I know it's a tough matchup. The Rams are pretty tough against the quarterback position, but hey, Nicky, he's not afraid to throw. He threw 39 times last week. He's got the receiving core he needs. It seems like everybody on the Bears is relatively healthy. Even Jimmy Graham, he's still relevant. Nick Foles is finding him. So if you're in a pinch, if something happens, last minute COVID or something, I'd say why not? That's my take on that outside quarterback there. What about a running back, man? What do you got?
Running back, I'm going with someone I didn't really like at the beginning of the season, but he's really turned it on these last few weeks. I'm going with DeAndre Swift at Atlanta. They suck. Atlanta sucks. So start whoever. And DeAndre, outside that top 20, he is a fine start this week.
Yeah, I mean, last week I think I had picked Adrian Peterson. I got the wrong Lions running back. But you know what? I was pretty happy to be wrong because Swift he did look pretty swift. He's a very explosive guy out there. So we'll see how that goes. For my running back, oh man, I'm cheating, but I don't care. It's James White versus San Francisco. You know he's more of a pass back. That's mainly his game, but he's still involved. He's still doing great things. San Francisco, they're second best against the run itself, so they're definitely going to go to the passing back when they need to. He had 9 targets last week. So I saw he was picked up today as well. Well played. Well played. All right, so wide receiver position. Who you got?
Yeah, I left with the wide receiver. I'm surprised this guy is always outside the top 20. He just seems to be there. But that's Tyler Boyd. I probably brought him up a couple of times during this segment. But Tyler Boyd at home against Cleveland. They suck against the wide receiver position. Third worst.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just been the go-to. The phantom of A.J. Green just hasn't been there. We don't know how Joe Mixon's going to shape up this week, and Joe Burrow throws the ball, and he likes him some Tyler Boyd, likes him some T. Higgins too. You could probably fire him up, but nod goes to Tyler Boyd for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that one. Tyler Boyd, he's a great player, and I think that's a great decision right there. I'm going to go with Travis Fulgham.
Yeah,
this Thursday,
like
this Thursday night against the Giants. There, I mean, I hear Deshaun Jackson's coming back. We'll see if he's even involved. They just lost Zach Ertz. They just lost Miles Sanders for these guys for a couple of weeks. And Fulgham has stepped into his role, and he's been doing a great job. So 23 targets the last 2 games combined. So, if you really need, I think he is actually being
he's
played.
rostered.
Yeah, rostered
absolutely.
And in the flex position, I would get him out of the flex, put him in your wide receiver slot there because it is a Thursday night game. Just a heads up there, boss. For upright soons. Otherwise, yeah, I like this play. He's a great player. So excellent. Outside the top 20, there you go, gents. Some of these guys have already been rostered, but if you didn't hear, if you don't have them on your team and you need them in a pinch, this is why we do this segment. Still, there's a little bit of animosity in this league, but also a little bit of friendship, right? They're still there. Yeah, we're still there.
Friendship.
So with that being said, we're going to go ahead, jump right back into the transaction talks.
Transaction talks.
You
got transaction, we got talks. Let's talk about transactions.
There's been a lot of transactions, and I just want to hear what this guy's got to say about it, So we're going to go ahead and be joined here.
Let's see what part of the world.
You always bounce back. That's your thing. You're going to be fine.
Oh, God.
Hey.
My mic.
Hi. Hi. Oh, sorry.
Oh, man.
I lost it.
Oh,
my God. I lost it.
Well,
I've been doing a bit of time traveling. I went forward a week, and now I've gone back to just kind of console your past self.
Well, I got to say that it has already been effective, so thank you. Thank you for I remember
But
this
I guess,
talk.
we'll just...
Oh, man. What's going on, Lyjak?
Oh, this and that, a little bit of it all.
Okay, I need to compose myself. That's the most baby face I've ever been, I think. Even more so.
I was just about to ask. I was like, I wonder where in the world Scott will be this week, and then that picture, and I completely lost it.
It's actually a little daunting to have you looming over me like this, even with your past.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty daunting just having me look at me right now. So yeah, that's fine. Whoa.
Yeah, I guess but I will let that be the last and final word about our week. I figure I'll go out on top, and then now we'll move on over.
Hey, we're back. Transactions.
Transaction talks.
Thanks for joining us back with this segment, man. We really like this segment, even though if it's only a couple weeks out of the season, because we let the transactions do their things, and then we'll talk about them after. So, thanks for,
Yeah, of course. It's almost like people knew that they were coming too, because last week there were a crazy amount of pickups and whole new teams were crafted, and then this week there was just a whole boatload of trades that we can kind of talk about here.
Yeah. So take it away, man. Let's talk.
Nice. All right. For starters, one thing I always like to keep track of a little bit is the moves that a lot of teams are making. I just have kind of like a who's making the most moves and least moves. The most moves is Gaskin for a friend with 19. Which actually I think that's one of the first times I've ever seen Gaskin kind of up there on the top tier. And I don't know if it's standing out a little bit more because when I saw who's made the least amount of moves, I feel like I'm consistently year after year annoyed with this individual because they seem to draft a team and then just sit on it and not worry for an entire season and then pull out a victory. Kicking butt curves, only 8 moves so far.
Yeah. It's impressive.
What do you worry about if you're not worrying about football?
You just bought a house, so maybe that's it.
I guess.
2020.
I don't know. I don't own a house. What do I know about housework?
Oh man. Yeah. All right. Most moves, Gaskin.
Yeah.
Good to
we'll
see.
Kind of see how things will keep on going as the season progresses. I don't think anyone will hit that limit. I know we kind of changed that around a little bit. Normally Heiser's up there, but he's kind of around the middle of the pack this year. Now, for some of the trades to start things off, I want to talk to Josh here, the Hunt. What he did.
Yes. Let's go ahead and talk.
Yeah, there's Brown, which as we were talking earlier, it's ironic that he's on a bye week. I always have a thing about doing trades with people that are about to face me. Because I know whoever I'm going to trade away, they're going to be the one putting the dagger in my back. Brown, Hunt, and Shark. So since that trade was made, your top player has been Hunt. And then given to me, Julio, Gallup, and Jones, top player, because of this past week, once I kind of really found where Julio was at, has been Julio with 63.2.
Okay.
Now, out of those trades, since we've acquired them on our team, Josh, you've been given 130 points towards your team when you had played them.
Okay.
I've gotten 145.
Okay.
And our records since then, I've been 3-1 since that trade.
Okay.
And one of the weeks that I lost is because Julio was MIA. I couldn't find him. I don't know where he went. He's kind of left. And Josh, you've been 2-2 since that trade. So I guess we'll see where things kind of continue on. I feel like so far from what Julio has kind of put up and is showing, although he's questionable again today. That was kind of a panic.
Always is.
We've all known that.
He's actually going. So you hear those sirens out there.
They're looking for Julio. That's what's happening.
Yeah, he's lost. They're like, what do you mean he's questionable?
He's like an old blind man.
Fix that hamstring. Yeah, so
right.
So far we'll kind of see. Like I said, I don't want to rub it too much in. I feel like as of these past 4 weeks that we've each had them, I think those guys have aided me a little bit more. One of the other trades that we had just last week with Gaskin for a friend and the newly named McDouble Drake, Tucker and Gano, the only kicker for kicker trade this league has ever seen. And I might argue the most lopsided trade
kicker
I have ever seen. Giving away Tucker for Gano, like so far since that trade has happened, Tucker has gotten 16 points.
16 points, yep.
Gano's gotten 8. So he's already doubled. He's already doubled the production of what's happened there.
Are you hashtag triggered over this trade?
Thank God I'm not a slug because I am insulted.
Well played. Well played.
You
got Louis. You got Louis.
That was tough.
All right.
Tough to see. Although I can't argue too much. Since I know there were a lot of trade talks. Since the draft had hit with Heiser that had included Tucker. Part of it was on principle, where I was just not going to let it happen, even if the trade looked like it was mediocre. Some of the other trades, we'll come across them in this next one. But I do have a quote from Gaskin for a friend regarding that trade. Kind of did some reach out, see how everyone was thinking about it, and I quote, "I'll say it was an unexpected surprise to finally have the big Tuck on my team. My first of many kicker trades this year, which means he's on the trade block. So check it, Dale."
Check it. Oh, I love it. I love it.
A lot of trades going on there. But yeah, so we'll see kind of how each of those kickers will fare. Well, one of them. We know how going to work his way all the way to the front stage of that opera house. And then we have another recent trade, which I figure here we can kind of, I was going to ask you a little bit of like your take and your thoughts on it, because we haven't seen any production out of them on these newly acquired teams with Make America Gronk again and McDouble and Drake. DJ Moore and Josh Jacobs are now in Make America Gronk again. Mm-hmm. And then we have McLaurin and Taylor on the McDouble and Drake.
Mm-hmm. Louis, you want to give your take on that trade there, Louis?
I think it's pretty fair.
Okay.
Just with the potential upside that Taylor has, and we know the kind of value that Jacobs has.
Yeah.
And then McLaurin and DJ. DJ's been underperforming. McLaurin has some quarterback woes, but he's still finding ways to get it done. I think it's about as fair as you can get, really. I mean, I would have been comfortable with that trade if I was the Taylor owner. I think it would have been really hard for me to get rid of Josh Jacobs, I think.
I think that's where I was at too. Yeah.
That's where I'm actually. When I saw this trade go through, I was a little bit shocked. I don't know if I would have gotten rid of Jacobs, and I have such high hopes for Moore. I know he's not their number one go-to guy, but I feel like he's more of like he's able to find a way to still score a boatload of points through there. I feel like the second half of the season is going to be the DJ Moore show. I don't know if that's me just trying to look upside, and one of the Tucker-related trade talks included Moore, and that was for me to pass up. Or I probably would have looked to try and get him. There's some other players in play that I did not want to get rid of. I don't know. My opinion, we could look at it a couple of weeks from now, but I think that it's lopsided in favor of Make America Gronk again. I think he came out on top, which is making his team look a little bit more scary, considering he's the only undefeated team out there, and suddenly he acquired Moore, which he doesn't really even need to play. He's sitting on his bench now.
Yeah.
But then Jacobs, which I think is kind of I think he's going to be a surprise threat in games that he's going to need it. So their points so far, DJ Moore's only got 66, Jacobs 84, and McLaurin and Taylor are pretty even at 77, 78. So I see your point, Louis, with it being fairly even there, kind of a trade. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, looking back on week number 4 when these two teams faced each other, Make America Gronk again beat the McDouble and Drake by almost double. It was like 155 to 75. So, I mean, if you fudge the math a little bit, he beat him by double. So we'll see how these players might.
Some would say he beat him by a McDouble. Yes.
Wow. When I wrote all this down, the team name wasn't changed yet, and you're adaptable. That's great.
No problem.
They're going to face each other again in week 13 for a rematch. So we'll kind of see how this trade plays out. I think that's the next time you really got to bust out the clipboard and take a look at how things were going for it.
Sure.
Yeah. Then we had a trade earlier today. It's big news. I barely had any preparation for it. Antonio Brown was picked up by the receiversonly.com and then immediately dropped in order to make the James Robinson, Chase Claypool, and David Montgomery trade. This is another trade that we have yet to see kind of what the production will hold out for this next week. So, again, I'm going to kind of pass the rock back to you guys. What are your thoughts on this trade that went down here?
Can you name the players again?
It was Chase Claypool and David Montgomery were traded to McDouble. We're traded to receiversonly.com, and McDouble and Drake got James Robinson.
It was a 2-for-1. James Robinson came back, and Montgomery and Claypool went out. I mean, I could see why Claypool might be. I mean, Deontay Johnson's there, Juju's there. There's a lot of receivers. So sell them while they're hot, I suppose. But I think the value of Claypool is probably going to sustain through rest of season. Montgomery is a really great running back. James Robinson is on a struggling offense. I think receivers only kind of came out on top on that trade, in my opinion.
Yeah. Louis, any thoughts?
I don't know what to make of this one yet. I'll need to see more. I'm not particularly fond of either of the running backs.
That's fair.
But I suppose there's a lot of upside with Claypool, especially with Juju kind of this year.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
I see it. It makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. I see too. I agree with Josh where I think receiversonly.com kind of came out a little bit on top. Only time will tell.
Yes.
One of the big things I'll note, which it'll pop up again here in a moment, but the one thing I took into account is Chase Claypool was recently fabbed pickup by the McDouble and Drake for $23.
Yes.
So that was the week after he had his big 30-point crazy touchdown game and everything. And I get it, sell them while they're high. Oh my gosh, what was the second fab dollar amount? It was in the single digits. So it looked like it was definitely over fabbed. But with doing that trade, I feel like you're also putting that $23 mark on James Robinson, which I don't think I would do. To kind of pick up someone, spend all that fab dollars, and trade away another running back just for Robinson. That's when I came to the conclusion that I think receivers only kind of came out on top. It was almost more of like a fab steal more than anything else.
That's fair. I can absolutely agree with that. Okay.
Yeah. So those are the trades. Now one thing I will make note of, which I don't think our league has. Oh, wait. I have a quote from the McDouble and Drake. I almost skipped over.
Yeah.
Actually, I got two quotes here. Actually, one regarding with the Taylor trade with Make America Gronk Again. It's everyone wanted him. Jonathan Taylor Thomased him.
Oh. Oh. Oh God.
Yeah, and then this second quote for the second trade kind of leads into one of the shout outs that I'm going to do. It's Robinson and Scary Terry for Hunt.
Okay.
Think about it. Sip on it. But one thing that I had done today is as I was skimming around through a lot of our transactions and the trades and all of that, is there's a whole category where you can put in the players that you are putting on the trading block, almost kind of like a shout out to, hey, I might be getting rid of this person, or you can throw a shout out in there to say like, hey, I'm looking for a wide receiver or a running back, and that way you can help some of those trades come in. I did it this morning. Threw a bunch of people on there, and then I called out a wide receiver, running back, tight end. It gave me the little like megaphone icon. I don't know if that blasted onto everyone's phone. I don't know if you guys are getting alerts.
Nope.
Usually I'll get a couple random ones of the pickups and drops and trades and things like that. I was curious if that does.
There might be something in like the notification settings on Yahoo.
Yeah.
I have to go back and check there. But no, I did not see those. I only see when people add and drop players, which I don't really like.
Commissioner, maybe you should look into that, adjusting everyone's phones to get alerts for that. So that way if there is someone who you're like, you know what, maybe I'll drop them this week, maybe I'll try and trade them, throw them up on there and see where you can finagle. But go ahead and hop on into the transactions area and take a look at who is up on the trading block.
Yeah. I'll take a look and see. I'll go a little bit further later just to check it out. That's a pretty nifty little tool there. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, as we start to switch over, I do want to add a little bit of an extra chat in here.
Yes.
And this is going to be our app talk.
Yes.
Brought to you by another one of our unofficial and unaware sponsors, Pink Floyd. What's in your wall? What's in your wall? Check it out.
Hashtag
so, some of the fab dollar spends. I do have some top fab money holders, as well as the lowest. Kicking Butkers, again, dude, what? Do something. I don't understand. I hate your team so much sometimes. Because he has the most amount of fab dollars, $92 still in his wallet. I guess it's worked a lot of years before. The lowest fab amount, receiversonly.com, $27.
$27.
They broke.
Which almost makes that trade a little bit more impressive. Like I was saying, it was a bit of a fab steal. Instead of spending $23 of your own instead, get a little bit of a trade and get Claypool on your squad. Now, I kind of broke it down into a couple categories. I don't want to spend too much time going over a lot of these fabulous spends. Top 3 big money spends. Number 1, Mike Davis, $34 to receiversonly.com. There's the deficit. That's where it came from. There were a couple other people that actually had threw fab on there. The closest was only $11 though. So,
in my opinion, it's actually kind of worth it.
That was going to be one of my follow-up questions. A little bit of the buy and sell on some of these fab things. If you would have spent that much money, or if you would have spent lower, would have spent more. But since receiversonly.com has picked up Mike Davis, 86 points has gone onto the board for it. So I think a little much, but it's you know what?
Yeah,
it's definitely been worth it. It's gotten those points, gotten those wins. It's all
definitely.
This one's going to be a tough buy sell here. The second highest spender for $25, Benny Snell.
Benny Snell!
That wasn't me.
No,
It was not.
Picked up and dropped.
There was only one other person, too, that bet on that, $7. I think receiversonly.com, trying to break the bank there a little bit. Got him. And 4 days later, negative 1.4 points.
Yep.
That fumble loss. Luckily, they were on the bench maybe not luckily. Maybe we all needed that to not let Gronk again stay undefeated there. Currently, Benny Snell is available if you would like to spend any money on. But I think that's a big sell. That's a big sell. So, number 3 highest spender here for $23. That was the Chase Claypool.
That was Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool, yeah.
I think time will tell if that's a buy and sell. It's still too early for me to tell on that one.
Yeah, I agree as well. Like I was saying before, I think it was 1 week too late, but then again, sometimes that's how it works. A trade out of it, maybe the $23 will show up in Robinson and help out with that as well. So, and as
number 4,
this one, Louis, would you like to take this one? Would you like to share? I was going to talk about it later. I'll talk about it later. We will all talk about it later together as a team. That'll be a fun one. But yeah, Chase Claypool, there were 2 other people that were kind of fiending after. Receiversonly.com being one of them, willing to put up the $8 for it. So it's kind of a little.
You're saying is receivers only would be broke, even more broke.
Receivers only would have been broke 3 weeks ago. Maybe he could find
I feel like if we go through the tape, we're going to see this exact same scenario. I think this exact same scenario played out last year as well.
Yes, it did actually. I think Chet is a notorious just throw money all out there. It's almost like he's got some sort of like commissioner sugar daddy that he can dip into the pockets for if he ever hits 0. Someone's saving up all that cash. I don't know what they're planning on doing with it. Maybe an extra, some midnight cruise out on the boat.
Collusion. Oh.
It's the illusion of collusion.
Well, it's there. That's for sure. All right.
Nice. Now, one of the other things I wanted to did a little category of with some of the fab dollars is just the top 3 most contested defenses that went out there. And I'd just be curious, any thoughts? You could just shout out buy or sell if you thought it was a good play or not. The Colts for $6. There were 2 other people that were trying to get the Colts. It was a couple weeks ago, if you guys recall kind of how the Colts defense has been doing. I'm going to say
buy. At the time, it was a good purchase, and it lasted a couple weeks, from what I remember. So, in my opinion, it's a buy. $6, not bad.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I thought it was a definite good buy. Actually, 48 points is what they have gotten out of that Colts defense.
And I said goodbye to them after week 1, so I'm a little upset about that.
Yeah, right before that, that was a 15, the 26th. I think it was week 3. I think that's big weeks there. They are available because of the buy. So if anyone wants to pick them up, kind of squat on them. If you want to spend $20 on them, Louis, by all means.
I got $20.
Now, another contested defense here is the Dolphins. There were 4 people that was trying to get Miami there for $3. And he got 15 points out of them.
Yes, I did.
Hunter be hunted. How do you feel?
Considering
Who did they play?
Jets. Considering they didn't run one back for a pick 6 or anything, I'm a little bit upset because the Jets had 0 points. And I also did not win the week. So a little bit salty, but I think in terms of value per defense, I think it was kind of worth it.
Now, were you taking into consideration the amount of money you were spending more so to come out on top from those 4 other managers that were fiending for them versus the fact that you'd have to drop them because they have a bye coming up this week?
It was more so I saw the money in my eyes with the Jets coming up. And if we're going to be honest here, I snagged Kansas City's defense this week because they play Denver this week and then the Jets next week. So
there you go.
I'm playing that game where if you're playing the Jets, you're going to be on my team as best as possible.
Noted. That's good. All right. Yeah, that was actually the most contested fab pickup. There were a couple other $3, Mike Davis, or 3 contenders, and Jerick McKinnon as well too. So, but kind of crazy that everyone was fiending for the defense.
Yes. And defense, yes.
And then the final one here, the Bills defense for $6. Now this one we don't have any data on after the pickup. I want your guys' thought, just a quick buy sell on if you would spend $6, if you'd spend higher. Josh, I know you would spend lower. You were the one you bet on it for $0. There's one other person that said $2. So I guess, Louis, what are your thoughts? Buy or sell on $6 for the Buffalo D? And
who are they playing this week?
They are facing the Jets.
Oh, big time buy, baby. I think I thought about it in a couple other of my leagues, but I didn't like their outlook after that. I think they have a bye week coming up too.
Week 11. Week 11.
Week 11 does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although,
I would buy it, I suppose.
Jets, New England, Seahawks, Arizona is what you'd have to get through before you get to that bye.
I mean, for the 1 week value, it could be worth it. But you already know my take. I put $0.
I am also though actually a little bit on. I'm a little bit on the sell side with it. Don't think the $6 will kind of get them what they're looking for. Even on a good week, Buffalo's defense has only scored 8 points. So they have not gotten double digits at all. They've even had a week where they hit -4. To me, that bit of a range I think could be a little bit sketchy for me to spend that $6 on, even with them going against the Jets. Who knows? All of a sudden, maybe the Jets will be like, Le'Veon Bell, we miss you. We want you back. And then, and they'll take off this week.
We got rid of Adam Gase. Come back.
Still waiting for that bit of news.
Right before I flip the page, I do just want to do a notable shout out to the kicker Koo. Man, that That I think was a great pickup because as soon as they got picked up by Gronk again, 20 point. They got a 20-point game out of that foot.
That's very impressive.
I think that was good. Another one too. I'm kind of curious to see what the McDouble and Drake have to say about this one. I had drafted Lazard.
Yeah.
And then was ridiculed at the draft. I get it. Whatever, You got to draft crazy to end up number 3 in the league by this week.
Week 7.
But then the McDouble and Drake picked them up for $3 and then proceeded to drop them and then pick them up again for $0 and then drop them again. Why so high on the Lizard? I don't know. Are you guys buying or selling? He's IR. What is he IR?
He's still on IR, and I think he's on IR for a few more weeks. I think, but or at least one more week. But I think it could be more. I'm selling. I actually listen, Lyjak. In terms of the draft, I actually liked the pick of Lazard. I think he was going to be a good number 2. No, man. It was the Tyrod Taylor that stood out to me. That was the only part.
I had such high hopes for him.
High hopes.
There was a lot of things that were out of my control that had occurred to that poor man. Maybe he'll be back.
Like the same bye week as
Mahomes.
That wasn't a concern at all. It still isn't. If he comes back, I'll pick him up.
I would have loved to have seen 3 quarterbacks on your team, whatever bye week though.
I mean, they were at one point this morning. As of this morning, wasn't there 3 quarterbacks on your team?
I did have 3. I had Fitzpatrick. Who did I drop? Because I picked up Matt Ryan, kind of in preparation, and I forgot who I dropped. But anyways, I was looking at it and I was like, I'll keep Fitzpatrick because he'll be. I was going to get rid of him on another note.
But then the Dolphins said no.
Yeah, like, Tua.
Tua. Yeah. So that was an easy decision for you then.
It was. I kept getting all the notifications. Fitzpatrick's drop, and I'm like, why? What happened to the beard?
Nothing.
Did he shave?
That's right.
So one of the final little categories that is focused on with tight ends. Louis, do you want to kick off the number one tight end spend?
Yeah, I think it was Mike Gesicki.
It was number 2.
Hey, we're struggling here, man. Evan Ingram, nay. Danny Dimes, nay. Daniel Jones. I'll call him his real full name. That asshat has just really, it's like he doesn't even know how to play football. So what do? I go out, I spend $20. Yes, I've advocated for this before in the past, and I don't listen. Do not drink and fab.
Yeah.
I think I even sent it over to Josh. I was like, am I crazy for spending this? He's like, yeah, I would bring it down. And then I fell asleep and woke up and I was like, didn't change that.
Yep.
That's great.
So
That's great.
$20.
So I'm hanging on to him.
Hey, you know what? There you go. I mean, if anything, it'll just help out your stats a little bit because since you picked him up, he's only gotten you 6.6 points. So you spent $3 a point so far. So
sometimes it'd be like that.
Yeah.
It's true though.
If you drop it down a little bit.
And
but
then
hey,
Dak
yeah,
had
you
to
never know.
Dak had to cry his wee. He went wee all the way to the locker room.
Yeah.
And then I thought, you know what? Maybe there's a Dalton connection that'll happen. I'm Andy Dalton. You're Dalton Schultz.
Huh.
Let's go.
Yeah. Fan
See,
club. Yeah.
I'm just very worried about a lot of the Dallas players kind of in general. I know you got CeeDee Lamb. I got Gallup
Sure.
in that trade. I feel like unless you got Amari Cooper, I don't know. But I guess we'll see. Maybe he'll fit into his groove, and I don't know if mentally, Dalton was kind of
CeeDee
ready.
Lamb was getting peppered targets. Amari Cooper had the garbage time touchdown.
Yeah.
Gallup was confused on a lot of the plays. He was asking, he's like, "Yo, Lamb, what's the counter? What's the setup?" And
Yeah,
so
that
he
was,
was late running out. It's like he didn't even know what was going on.
pretty tough for me in another one of my
Kind of a
leagues.
mess. Dallas is kind of a mess right now.
Yeah, Zeke fumbling twice. Like this
Yeah.
is it's tough.
That was one was pretty early too. I thought.
Yeah.
That was-
Yeah, Dallas
was
is having a tough time.
Tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll
Um,
see. Hold on to him. With $20. If not, maybe you could look for a trade and kind of look to work that into a little bit of like a fab trade score. But I agree with you that tight ends are the bane of my existence. Part of why I was honing for Kelsey because I feel like the biggest struggle every year.
Yeah, I had him last year, and boy, was it nice to not worry about that position the whole year.
Yeah, it's almost more stressful than a defense because defense at least you start with 10 points.
Yep. And if something happens, you
Backwards a
might
little
still
bit.
end up. Yeah, we'll see. But
I think it was at one point this week. I want to say it was Gaskin for a friend because they had only their defense left to play. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I was a little shell shocked when I looked at their projected score and it was less than what they already had. It was by only a point, but I was like, oh, no, what's happening? Then I clicked and I was like, oh, it's the defense. Okay, that makes sense a little bit. But yeah, tight ends, they are a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Speaking of roller coasters, yeah, Mike Gesicki, he was drafted, and then he was dropped, and then he was picked up for $6, and then he was picked up for $2, and then he was dropped. So
he's still unrostered now, to my knowledge as well, right?
I believe yes.
Because he was dropped again.
How do you guys feel on Gesicki? You think is he a buy? Is he a sell? Is he a buy to sell? Like what's going on with
play?
It's for me, it's too early to tell. We'll see what happens. Fitzpatrick liked him some games. Some games he just last week he completely forgot about him. But I will see what Tua does with it. But
true. Yeah. Kind of like mediocre or bust.
Yeah. I see your point too with just plug and play. I think he'll kind of get passed around the league like a wet towel there. So we'll kind of see what happens with him if he lands up anywhere. Maybe he'll be a keeper next year. I don't know.
Who knows?
I do know. He won't. But I feel like tight ends, they always sometimes they're a major part of the play, and sometimes they're just an extra defenseman. Just like our final one is Hooper for $2. He's picked up. I noted this one mostly because Josh, what happened? You wanted him, but you didn't get him because you put an invalid claim in.
That's because I put a bid out for this was this past week, right?
Correct.
Oh, I had was going to drop the same player. I picked up Cook and was going to drop the same player if Cook was taken first, so I guess that kind of made it invalid or what have you. But I wanted Cook first over Hooper. Yeah.
I hear that. Louis, what are your thoughts on Hooper? Quick buy, sell. 20-second take.
Sell.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I feel like he's had one decent good week that broke double digits. But other than that, I feel like he's kind of a lucky week for him.
Just a little bit, yeah. Well, snap.
Well, yeah.
Thank you so much.
That is my take.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll see you guys again for another transaction talk.
Yeah, we always love transaction talks. I love the variety within the transaction talks, the different levels of transactions we got going here, and I'm sure just with the amount of talks that are happening on the side, we're going to have more trades to talk about later in the season.
Yes.
They shall. Don't forget that. Hit that trade block. I'm also excited for the half pounder whenever that comes up. Excited to see how things change.
Probably
I think it's next week.
actually.
Yep. Half pounder coming up. We got some new records to work with, new players on each team, so it'll be something to analyze in a little bit more depth. Before you go, Lyjak, we are playing this week, and it's a very big week to determine how our trade's going to go further. Yes, one of our players from that trade is on a bye week. I'm a little bit upset about that because this is the second year in a row I have got him from you in a trade, and he is on the bench because of the bye week. But I wanted to make this a little bit interesting. I think the past few years we have played each other twice in the season, and because of the schedule mix-ups that we decided to try this year, we're only playing each other week 7, and who knows what the postseason has in store. Here is a receipt indicating that I've gotten this thing nicely cleaned. I have a dry cleaners right down the street.
Oh, all right.
I have a lot more free time when
Did it
everybody's
cost
working.
extra to get the Rannicky ball sweat off of that?
I
board?
had it. It was another $15. Yes, absolutely. Because especially since I'm wearing it and he was, it was kind of up here and it was just round.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah. So with that being said, how interested are you? No more habanero bets on this one here. How about you want a Blazer bet?
I'll do a Blazer bet. I'm trying to think of the.
Look at me. I am the captain now. I want that Kansas City. I want that Kansas City flag. No, damn it! You're the captain again.
Yes, I have that ready. I'm in a lot of Zoom calls throughout the day. I need that there.
I would like that Kansas City flag.
Kansas City flag. Which one?
You have multiple.
I have one that's just the arrowhead, and then I have one that's like a football helmet.
I want the arrowhead. And to make this a little bit more interesting, I'll put the original tie from the first bet in with our matchup.
Jeez.
So, Blazer and tie for the Kansas City Arrowhead flag. Yeah?
How do we shake up? Yeah, all right. Let's do it.
I'm going to lose big time, but I don't care. It's worth it.
Big question.
Yes.
Are the snake-eyed glasses still in the pocket?
They're over here. I will not lie. Snake-eye glasses are right here.
Yeah,
They're a little busted.
That's fine.
They don't stay on the head on the face as much, but they're still here, and they'll be right in the breast pocket of the Blazer.
Yeah. Done deal. Yeah. And
this will be on the same breast pocket.
If you end up winning,
yes.
Which keep in mind, I did time travel to the future to see what was going on. I will hand deliver that flag.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, man, I am now shaking a little bit on the inside, but this was fun.
This is going to be great. I'm hyped.
Well, thank you, Lyjak. We appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for the bet. Woo!
Yeah. All right. Thanks for having me again, and I will see you guys in the virtual world one day again soon.
One day again soon. Oh, God. Ah! Get that man off of there.
Whoa.
Such a baby. Such a baby face. Oh, man. Oh, I am nervous. I am nervous for that bet now. I still don't know why I did it, but I was just really feeling it this year.
You
Guys,
gotta do it.
you got to do it. The Blazers been in possession a couple years. It's been nice having, and it'll be nice having that Kansas City flag hanging up right here. All right, Louie. Moving on. We got a little bit of we're going to go back to our Go Sports Media correspondent. Out in the field, we have Scott Dale coming at us live with the Vegas odds. Take it away, Scott Dale.
After a so-so week last week, 3 right, 3 wrong. Back again at it for the games this coming weekend. I will say, if you do count me saying take the Cardinals team over, I was 4 for 3 and in the money for last week. So starting with what might be the worst game in Thursday night football history, we got the Giants playing at the Eagles. Bigger issue with the NFC East is who knows if anyone even gets to 7 wins this year. But I guess someone has to win this week, unless there's a tie. A lot of money moving on this game. It's funny right now, jumping all over the place. Eagles open as 5.5-point favorites, and that fell as low as 3.5 points in the last 48 hours, but has moved back up. It currently sits at 4.5 points. And I think you just need to take the Eagles and get it before it moves back. It's an ugly game to bet. Bit tough. I won't be betting it, but maybe you throw a couple bucks on it or create a one-game parlay. Eagles minus 4.5. The other two NFC East teams will also play against each other this week on Sunday, with Dallas going up to the nation's capital. I can't believe this is a pick'em right now, with money actually moving towards Washington. Another ugly game for us to watch, but should be easy money when it comes to betting. Take Dallas to win. Staying in the NFC, we'll go west for the Seahawks heading down to the Cardinals. These two teams usually play each other pretty well, so this will be a great game. This line's held pretty still since it's opened, with the Seahawks giving 4 points, but that's moved down to 3.5. Bettors really like what Arizona did last week against the Cardinals, or against Dallas, but the Seahawks are coming off a bye, and I like them just a little bit more. I'm taking Seattle minus 3.5. Sunday night, we get Tom Brady going to Vegas. Should be a good game with, again, another team coming off the bye in Vegas, and an emotional big win for the Buccaneers. Money is going in on the Bucs on this right now. Again, slowly moving. It's gone from -3 up to -3.5. This one's conflicting for me. I think the league wants Vegas to do well this year, drum up that support, make sure they make the playoffs. I don't think the league wants them to fall to 3-3. Expect a couple fishy calls in this game. I'm taking Vegas plus 3.5. May even be worth betting the money line, just pending what the final odds are. Last but not least, we get a Monday night game, prime time for our Bears. I'm not even going to mess with the spread on this one, as this could be ugly. Bears are getting 6 points. Very tempting to take, especially the way they played this year, being a second-half team. What draws me most to this game is the over-under sitting at 45. It's moving as it opened at 46, so try and get this early, because I just don't see a lot of scoring happening from the offensive side of the ball, with how good both these defenses are and the way the Bears offense has struggled this year. Under 45. With that puts another week of Dale's Dirty Bets in. Just a reminder, Big Ten football starts this week, and Michigan still sucks.
Oh,
Man,
I need to find out how to spend money.
I'm working off a server salary, so I'm gonna hold on to that until I get an actual job. But for those who were interested, that was the Vegas odds with Scott Dale. So thank you very much, Scott Dale, out in the field. Good looking out, buddy. Moving on, we got the 1v1s. 1v1s. Louis, do you have a game that you want to start with this week?
Yeah, let's go Whitey Girls versus Make America Gronk Again.
Okay.
For the White Girls, I wanted to reference DeAndre Boom Boom Hopkins. I think that he is going to go off this week.
Okay.
He's going to be a major factor in this game. It's actually going to be a really interesting game with Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson, similar quarterbacks, at least at the beginning of their career. So that'll be a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
And then for Make America, Amari Cooper is still the guy in Dallas. I had raised the question last week. We didn't know who the target was going to be, if it was Lamb, if it was Gallup, or if it was going to be Cooper. Cooper, I think he had 10 targets last week, and that last second touchdown, still very relevant and still the big dog in Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Cooper still has that. I just love how he got traded to Dallas and he became the man, and he just
Absolutely.
and they never looked back, even with Dalton. So that's awesome to see, man.
Mhm.
I brought back the rhymes this week. Some of these are really, really bad. Some of these are really, really good. So we'll go ahead and take it away. For the white girls, we're going to see plenty of Derrick Henry. It's 268 yards or whatever it was total. Jesus.
Yeah.
It disgusts me sometimes. And then you got to throw the rock further, Roethlisberger. Not really. He's actually doing pretty good, but I think it should be just fine. A good quarterback play to make up for Matt Ryan, who was dropped, should be just fine. Make America Gronk again. He'll have at least 15 points at the half. We're talking about DK Metcalf. He seems to be a really good target the target now. I mean, Tyler Lockett is a nice guy to sprinkle in every other game, but he's the guy for Russell Wilson right now.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we got to get AP out of there. Order him a lift because it's going to DeAndre Swift. At least it should. It should, because that dude looked explosive. AP, we love you. We always have. You've been an incredible player throughout the years, but please make room for younger players.
Yeah, just retire, man.
Just retire. I know you love the game, but I think at this point, stop. Who do you got winning this one, my friend?
We're gonna stick with old reliable Make America. Make America 7-0.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last week. I think we both think he's going at least 7-0. I got him winning this week as well,
tying that league record
with himself. So, I totally agree. Who we want to talk about next?
Let's go upright soon and receiversonly.com. Who do you got on this one?
Receiversonly.com. I know you like talking about some key players, the players that could be questionable throughout the matchup or big plays. I'm going to go ahead and give you these rhymes again. We're going to go ahead and give a big holla to Darren Waller. That boy is a tight end. He's definitely a top 3 tight end rest of season. He's a great guy. If I didn't have Mark Andrews, he was going to be a pick as well. Even though Deontay Johnson's coming back, he's still going to be way cool. Talk about Chase Claypool. I still think he's going to get involved. And like you said, Juju, at least this season. So, going to upright soon. Listen, he got a DUI, I heard, but you still got to play Melvin Gordon the third. It's a perfect matchup for him. If you don't play him, it's going to be just disgusting looking. You could play both running backs in that situation, I think. So fire him up with confidence. Let's see here. Oh, upright soon. Hey, did you get my Foxman? It says to play Justin Jackson. Okay? You got to play him. He's a good running back. My accent is atrocious, but you've got to play Jackson. He seems to be a lot better than Josh Kelly out there. He did great. I haven't been in another league. He has not disappointed. So these are some good players that you have to play this week. All right. And what do you got, my man?
All right. So for receivers only, we're looking at a swan song for Mr. Mike Davis. I believe CMC is projected to be back next week now. I think there was a chance for him to show up this week, but I think they're going to hold off and bring him back next week. So he's upgrading from Mike Davis to CMC. I mean, how can you go wrong there?
Right.
But I'm expecting Mike Davis to get it done this week. Over for Upright Soon, I wanted to talk about the man, the myth, Travis Fulgham.
Mm-hmm.
Like the play, not a whole lot of anyone there, and I'm expecting a big. And you mentioned this earlier.
Mhm.
Get him out of your flex, dude.
Yeah.
Get him out of your flex.
Especially with all the injuries that I see going around and on your bench and everything, like just play cautiously. Get him out of your flex. All right.
This one I'm giving to SeniorReceiversOnly.com.
I'm actually going to follow in your footsteps there. I like the matchups that all of his players have, not just the ones that we mentioned. I think Receivers Only is going to get on the right side of this ball game. We're going to have a bounce back week. So.
All right, moving over to, we talked about it earlier, but where art the Julio Hunter be hunted? Julio has been found. He has been found. As long as that questionable tag gets lifted, fire away, buddy.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to talk about Kareem Hunt, the other big playmaker within that trade. I think he's got a juicy matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
They are the worst against the run. And Hunt being that, two package back, where he can catch, he can run. I'm just expecting him to have a nice game, get the ball out of Baker Mayfield's hand.
I think we're looking at a different matchup here. Hunt's playing Cleveland or Cincinnati this week. Sorry, not Cleveland.
Oh, well, I might be wrong there.
But.
Yeah. I wonder what I was looking at earlier.
No worries.
Either way, I still think you can fire him up.
Yeah. I sure hope so. I know there's also a questionable tag now too, so we'll see how it goes. But I think this matchup here, we're going to be talking about Kamara tomorrow, because we always do, or at least if we don't talk about him, he's just going to be super impressive, and we're just going to assume this is the norm for Kamara. I know Michael Thomas is back, but I don't expect anything different to change. He's still like a guy that they trust to move chains. And Anderson's going to be landing some points, some big points. At least I hope so. It's going to be a shootout, in my opinion, with the Saints and Carolina. Bridgewater seems to be doing, the Bears were a tough defense, but otherwise Bridgewater seems to be a pretty competent quarterback this year. I'm really happy that he's been able to come back in his career. I felt really bad for what happened to his leg several years ago, so I'm very happy for him. And Anderson seems to be a pretty trustworthy receiver for him. And it's going to be all highs, no lows for Pat Mahomes. Because it's Pat Mahomes, and he's playing Denver. He's already almost projected 30 points.
Yeah.
Cool. Like that. There you go. I got nothing else. And I don't want to admit it, but heck it, it'll be Ronald Jones II, who's going to come out looking just great like he has been. That's the one who's going to be playing in Las Vegas, and yeah, you can fire him up with confidence again. Boy, did I trade the wrong Tampa Bay running back. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. I think, even though I just made a bet, I think I'm going to lose. It's going to be where art thou, Julio? I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what it is about your team. It's the Lyjak effect. On paper, I have some pretty decent matchups. But I think you're still going to find a way to do it. I just don't know how. We'll see. Who do you got winning this match?
I'm going to differ on this one. I'll give the win to you.
Okay.
Just to be different. I need to make up some ground here.
Yeah, that's fair. Got to make up some ground. All right, next matchup. McDouble and a Drake versus Gaskin for a friend. You want to take this the beginning away here, bud?
Yeah. So I brought him up earlier. I'm real interested to see Kyler Murray going up against Seattle, second worst. I think this is going to be the funnest game to watch this week.
Yes, I agree.
So I'm really looking forward to that one. And then for the McDublin doubles and a Drake. Now, there's been so many moves. Hold on, let me make sure this guy's still there.
That is fair. So many moves.
Yes, and he is in the starting lineup. I wanted to bring up Rob Gronkowski after having his sort of welcome back to football last week.
Yeah.
I think things are going to be on the up and up for him. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, when they're not there and Gronk's in the play, Tom Brady knows what he's going to do, trust him. So I see a lot of good things happening with him, but we shall see. He had 8 targets last week. I think that was a season high for him.
Yeah, I think it was.
So if he can keep getting the looks, he's going to produce.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's, it seems like all the receivers are a little bit banged up out there, so he goes to all reliable, and that seems to be Gronkowski. He does not look fast. He does not look like the same Gronkowski, but he's all reliable, and sometimes that gets the job done enough. So, hey, I like it. Let's see here. McDouble and a Drake. Against Atlanta, McLaurin won't be born. He's just so good. He can work with any quarterback. It's very impressive. It's very impressive. I understand why he was acquired. So, all right. And we thought he was a flake. Good old Kenyan Drake. I thought he was a flake. I think even Robbie thought he was a flake. But it's Kenyan Drake. He seems to just continue to get the rock, and that's fine. And it seems to be working for him. Like you said, it's going to be a good matchup, which means going over to the other side of the ball. He's in a hurry. It's Kyler Murray. It seems like he threw a lot of deep balls. He just wanted to get in the end zone really fast last week, and Russell Wilson likes to do the same. So, yeah, this is the matchup I'm excited to watch this week. This is really great. And then I kind of got a twofer on this last one, twofer rhyme. Last week, A.J. Green was on the scene. You should not be annoyed with Tyler Boyd because he still had 10 points. He had 8 targets, 79 total yards. I know A.J. Green did have a really good game last week, but just like you said earlier with your outside top 20, Tyler Boyd is a consistent guy. He seems to be really good for the Cincinnati and for Gaskin for a friend, both teams. So, do you want me to pick first? Are you going to try to differ on this one?
Yeah, I'll differ on this one.
Okay. Looking at some matchups, I gotta go with Gaskin for a friend. I think this is going to be a nice win, a second win in a row for them. I think this is going to be great.
I wanted you to go the other way, but yes, I will go the McDubbins.
I put you on the spot. Yeah, sounds good. Well, that will take care of it for the 1v1s, except for, of course,
the game of the week.
Hey-o! Game of the week. We got you stepping in here, my friend. Good old start for week 7. We got you having a pretty decent matchup against Danielson, the commissioner. Kicking Bookers versus Lamb of God. You guys seem to be very consistent week to week. I think this is going to be a great matchup, and we'll get the commissioner on the line, see how he feels about the matchup, talk about it just a wee bit.
Just a wee little bit.
Just a wee bit there. And there he is. Oh, there he is.
What's going on, boys?
Not much. How you doing,
Ooh, I like the fighting fist.
Oh, he's got the deuce on. How's it going, Danny?
Good. How you boys doing?
Doing okay.
Good.
We
You
had a
almost
little
didn't
bit.
find the straw there, bud. Almost went around the glass on you.
It's a little guy. It's hard to find.
Yeah, these things happen. I don't know
Josh,
what
sweet pumpkins.
Oh, thank you.
You keep them inside all the time?
We had finished them last night. Thought it was too late to take them out, and then just totally forgot to take them out. I was like, well, I'm filming a video, so let's keep it.
I'm a little disappointed they're not lit.
They are.
They're just. We got these. We got the fake candles, and they're just not very bright.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's probably gonna be. No. I'm hoping it's better when you go outside. They were last year, and now I can't put this thing back on. Whatever. Hey, game of the week. Game of the week.
Yes, sir.
You ready for a bounce back there, Danielson?
I fucking hope so. I got a lot of grievances to air about last week, man. I'm so pissed. That's not why I'm here tonight, though, I guess, so we don't have to talk about that, but
No.
fuck
I mean,
Scott.
we could talk about it, but Scott's not here to rub it in, so we'll keep going, looking at the future. You guys got pretty consistent teams throughout the season. And now Louis got his Seahawks back. Are you a little bit afraid of the Seahawks?
Yes. Louis obviously has the quarterback advantage on me this week, and I think that's really where his potential is to beat me. I mean, we're pretty close across the board. Obviously, I'm hurting a quarterback right now. I think it's just going to be the rest of the season. I'm just going to have to plug and play, and I think I'll get.
If you need old Tanny,
Yeah.
old Tanny for Danny.
Old Tanny for Danny. I mean, I think Stafford against Atlanta this week's not a bad play.
Yeah, I'll say that this week I'm feeling kind of hopeful with him because the Falcons they're bad. They suck. Except they looked good last week.
That's the thing. I think Matt
Julio
Ryan
has been found.
Yes, he has been found, Josh.
Oh yeah, we had Lyjak on just a little bit earlier talking transaction talk. So
yeah, did he bring that one up?
Oh, first transaction that we talked about. This first transaction. Couldn't wait to get that out. We have a little bit of a surprise at the end of transaction talks as well. If you want to watch the video tomorrow, it's going to be good. Otherwise, yeah, I think this could be a nice back and forth. Had Matt Ryan not done anything and not shown he can still throw the ball, I would have said this was just a run game for the Lions, but this could work out for you. This could be all right.
Yeah. Just gotta hope for that Stafford Galladay hookup a couple times.
That was the only note. That was the only note I read about your team is like that's what I'm kind of worried about this week is the connection.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I got one of my own, man.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah,
I
think our receivers are pretty well matched. I think running backs are pretty close. I think I got a bit of an advantage at tight end, but
yes, you do.
Your advantage at quarterback is pretty big.
You could quadruple whatever I put up.
Eat one of those 40 burgers from Kittle.
I mean, Louis going. He's got his defense playing Dallas, so that could also be in his favor. But
they could drop 30 points.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Andy Dalton. I was a little late on the defense pickups this week, so I'm like, oh, I guess we're gonna roll the dice against the old Firehead, you know. We'll see how that goes.
Fucking hate him.
Gonna hate him. I think this is gonna be. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're talking game of the week here, so this is gonna be a great matchup. I mean, AJ Brown against Pittsburgh. Even though Pittsburgh has a great defense, it's a run defense. So they're pretty easily to throw on.
Yeah.
I mean, Odell Beckham.
AJ Brown, he does his work. He'll get 3-4 catches for like 80 to 100 yards. He's a deep threat, so I just gotta hope he gets those big ones.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I have him in another league, and I put him in there, and I just forget about him because I'm so happy with him. Such a great player. That is great. That is a great pick.
More though, honestly, the dude is like nearly impossible to tackle. He averages 20 yards a catch. I'd be throwing to him all game.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Even with Corey Davis coming back, it's still going AJ Brown all day. This is going to be a great matchup here. Louis, aside from the 1-2 punch and the tight end, is there anybody else that you kind of worried about there? Like Robert Woods against Chicago, do you think Robert Woods is going to do all right?
No, I think the Bears defense is pretty stout. I'm not too worried about anyone playing the Bears. I'm more worried about the amount of points that I'm going to leave on my bench than anything.
What a luxury.
I hate it. I hate it so much. It's like the first year where I'm like legitimately like, this 1A player to this 1A player. Before it's like, these are my starters because my bench is injured. Let's go. But now it's like, no, I really got to freaking choose, and it's getting to me. It's getting to me, man.
That was Danny last year, from what I remember. Danny, you just had, from top to bottom, and even on your bench, you just had stout players left and right, and your bench was putting up like 50 points a game. And
I think that was 2 years ago.
Last
year my team wasn't that great last year. I just got hot at the right time.
That's right. It was 2 years ago. They got hot at the right time. Yeah, you made the great purchases there at the end of last season. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. Danny, you got any other worries going into this matchup here? Or does that pretty much cover it?
Worries? No, not really. Just Russell and the fucking Cowboys suck, so he might give me another 6 points. So I'm not going to let that one go for a while.
I know I was kind of rubbing it in a little bit on the during the goal line stand, but it was just.
Yeah, no, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh my god!
Triggered.
Scott. I know, again, this isn't why I'm here, but let's talk about it. Scott's team, half his points last week came on 3 plays.
Yes.
Yes. Derrick Henry.
Yes.
Scored almost 30 points on 1 play. I don't think that's ever been done.
It's incredible.
He got the 9.5 points just on the yards, plus he hit both rushing bonuses on 1 run and the touchdown. I was up by 10 points, and the next thing I look, I'm down by 30.
Yeah. It was insane. It was absolutely
twice. They don't give it to him on the goal line.
And to think that it was that close of a game too.
Yes, I lost 4. Zeke fumbled twice. I didn't give it to him on the goal line. Davey couldn't put it in on the goal line. Just one of those weeks.
I think I looked at it and I was like, Scott, you realize that you had a defense with negative points and only 2 players with double digits, and you still ended up winning. Like, that is unheard of. Like, I was talking to Dale. Dale's like, I won with a quarterback with negative points and a defense with negative points. I was like,
it was a weird.
Radicke said, hold my beer.
Yeah, if you look across the board last week, there's just not a lot of points scored.
No.
There's a lot of 90s, low hundreds.
There was against me.
Yeah.
There was.
Sorry.
Just one.
Yeah. There was a 62-point game or performance. That was fun. A new season low. So no matter how you feel, Danny, you didn't get 62 points on them. Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, guys, this is great. Who do you think is going to win this week?
I think we're both looking for bounce back wins here.
Yeah. Yep, I'm going to pick myself. I'm never not going to pick myself if you're going to bring me on here. So that's a very biased opinion, but I do think it'll be close. And I think I have a very good chance of losing, but I'll pick myself.
Louis, what do you got, my friend?
I think I'm due for a win. I mean, if we're looking at how teams average, I'm on a 2 losing streak, so I'm gonna give myself a little bump in the win spot. We'll see. I think it's gonna be close.
I do.
I think it's gonna be high scoring. I think it has potential to be one of the highest scoring matchups this week.
Not a lot of prime time either. Did you notice that?
I hate being a part of. What?
Not a lot of prime time either. I've got Monday night, you've got tomorrow night, but other than that, it's mostly going to be settled on Sunday, noon and 3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 o'clock is the latest game on that one.
I have Robert Woods, but I'm not expecting much from him.
Yeah, that should be an interesting one to watch on that. But, I think overall this could be decided before the Sunday night game. Just looking at it, I mean, it depends on which Atlanta team shows up. It's really just the deciding factor. Because Louis and I had talked about it, we think that Seattle and Arizona with Murray and Wilson. It's just going to go back and forth there.
Yeah.
And I think because of that,
Antonio Brown.
yeah, Antonio Brown. I think Lamb of God is going to come away with this victory just because of the Seahawks. Otherwise, this is going to be a great game to watch. So
You cannot deny God.
I'll give you that one.
All right. Well, Danny, thanks for stopping in, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do want to point out before I go, because I see Matt's head poking out back there. His girlfriend Kate Snapchatted the other day the poster hanging in their office, so he is wearing it. Give him props for that.
The what is?
The big ass poster we had on the draft day.
Oh yeah, we saw him
Took
last
it
week.
home.
Yeah.
It is hanging in his office. So,
So
give him
it's not.
props for that one.
It was not just there for the video. He's
Yeah. I was like, you just put that up there.
Unless
Well,
he
Matt-
did do that. I don't know.
Well, and then just
No, he said he
wanna
didn't.
take it back?
I believe him.
Okay, I'll give it to him.
I'll give it to you. Hey, mad props, Matt. Yeah, you're leaning into it. I like it.
All right,
right.
boys.
Danny, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. And with that, that will conclude Week 7 predictions for Warren 2009 Fantasy Football. This has been a pleasure. We're almost to the guaranteed money. We're almost halfway through the. Actually, we are halfway through the regular season now, I believe. With this week.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, guys, football's held out long enough for us, and we're still enjoying it. So, Ghost Sports Media wants to thank you for tuning in again. Like, subscribe, comment. Otherwise,
All that fun stuff.
yeah, all that fun stuff. Otherwise, as always,
Go Sports.